I am filming this during a literal blizzard, but today's video I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about weight loss and things like that. As you can tell by the title, I am currently on a weight loss journey, and I have been for almost a year now. I think in July it makes a year, and I have been on and off, and that is completely unhealthy, but that's just the reality of how life is. When you're making a lifestyle change, it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that takes time. So yeah, so if you guys don't know, my name is Kimbae, or Kim, whatever it is that you prefer to call me. And this is the Beauty Life Expert, and on this channel I wanted to focus on a little bit more of like beauty related things and things like that. So that is why I'm actually talking about this topic. I am all for embracing your body as it is, loving yourself as it is. I have many videos about self-esteem and loving yourself and all of those things, but for me personally, weight is not only something that affects my physical appearance, it's something that was affecting me. It was affecting my health, and I don't want to go into too much details in regards to that, because I do have this whole big project that I'm working on that I would like to eventually get out there on my YouTube channel. But just know that there was a reason for this weight loss. It wasn't something that I was just like, oh, you know what, these jeans don't look good on me anymore, I want to lose like 50 pounds. Like, it wasn't like that. It was something, it was a choice that I had to make. It was very serious, and so far I lost 25 pounds, and I feel like that is not nearly as much weight as I need to lose. So that's why I'm filming this video, because this is a milestone. I have a couple of snippets and stuff like that of when I reach other milestones, but this one is a pretty big one to me, and it means a lot to me, and I wanted to give people advice in case you don't want to lose more than like 25-30 pounds. So this is just how I'm getting started. Just know, again, I'm not a health expert. This is what worked for me. This may not work for everybody else, and honestly, there's some things in here that I'm gonna probably mention that you guys probably don't agree with, and that's just the reality. We're all different. We all, you know, like different things. We all have different habits, and that's just life, you know? So the first thing I want to talk about is actually making the decision to lose weight. And what I mean by that is, it has to be something you really want. It can't come from what other people's perception of you is. It can't come from a medical professional. It can't come from your family or your mom or whatever. It has to come from you. You need to want this. And the reason why I say that is because it's hard to try to obtain a goal that you didn't set for yourself. Like, it's really hard. It was like, for a long time I've always made the decision, but that was based on being bullied. That was based on other people telling me that I needed to do this. It was never based on something that I wanted to do for my physical being. And once it became something I wanted to do because I wanted to truly do it, that's when it was just like easy to me. Like, it just became natural. It just became something that I wanted to do. It wasn't hard. I mean, I can't say it wasn't hard, but it wasn't strenuous is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's something that I was like, you know what, I want this, I'm gonna do this, and it just came natural after that. And it's something that people, there's times people never obtain that. They can lose 100 pounds and they never really obtain that, where it's like feels easy to them. And the reason why is because they probably didn't really want it to begin with. And that sounds horrible, because like, who doesn't want to lose weight? But you need to really, really want it, and you need to like eat it. You need to pray. Like, it's just a mental state. It's not something that you just like one day you're like, oh, time to lose weight. Like, you know, it's a process. So definitely making the decision is the first thing. I did try a lot of different like diets. I tried a lot of different cleanses. Can I say that one of those were better than the other? Not necessarily. I feel like it was a combination of everything. The one thing that I do recommend more than anything, if you're not going to listen to any, well, actually no, there's two. There's two things that honestly work more than anything else that I will mention. And the first one is cutting down on your carbs and sugars. If you cut down on carbs and sugars, you're more prone to lose weight. The second thing is fasting. And I don't mean a like 5 hour, 6 hour fast. I mean like a real fast. Like I feel like fasting is probably like the biggest thing for me, was definitely having that control. My fasting window started at like 1 p.m. and didn't end till like maybe 8. But like I would eat my first meal at 12 and then stop. Like there was a time I was at a restaurant and I was like drinking a margarita and it was like 7:58 and I was like, oh, can't finish it because it's about to be 8 o'clock. And literally that was probably like the most disciplined thing that I had to do. Fasting was definitely what I saw the biggest change in. I felt like as soon as I incorporated fasting into my diet, I saw pounds just shedding off. And it's probably one of the hardest things, but for me especially, because I had so many habits that fasting needed to break. When it came to like my morning coffee, when it came to my breakfast, like I had a habit, like I would go to Dunkin' Donuts before work and then I'll go to work and I'll drink my coffee at work, and that's how I would get through my day. And then having to fast, I couldn't do that anymore. I had to wait till 12 o'clock to be able to have a coffee if I had a coffee that day. And yeah, so I will talk about that all in later videos, but this is just like I wanted to like start bringing it to my channel, and I just wanted to start with this. Another thing I did try but I did not really like was the keto diet. At the time that I was trying to lose weight was last summer. Everybody was doing keto. It was like keto was everywhere, and the reason why I don't like it is because I'm not a huge like protein person or a huge like eater. Like I eat a lot of portions, like I eat a lot of times, I just don't eat big portions. And that's kind of like what contributes to my weight gain in the first place, was the fact that I'll like snack and I'll eat stuff in between. But then when you're like on keto, you have to like, you get like and then I was on fasting at the same time, so you'll have like these certain meals where you could only have this amount of protein, this amount of vegetables, and then I just feel like I'm such a picky eater that it was just so hard for me to like decide that I'm gonna, you know, cut down all these carbs. And cutting carbs is good, like, but I can't eliminate them completely from my life. Like I'm sorry, I just can't. Like there was times I want to like pick out a little croissant or something, and while you're on keto you shouldn't cheat. And yeah, I'm like, this is not for me. It's not, I have self-control, but when I don't like something, then I can't control myself. So definitely, I did try keto. I wasn't a fan of it. I honestly just think that regular diet and exercise was the best thing. Not a huge I didn't work out a lot. Honestly, I barely worked out. Like maybe there was a couple of times me and my friend went to the park. Me and my mom went to the park a couple of times to like run and do a couple of stretches and things like that. I did a couple of stretches at home, like just to like give me that boost of energy. I did yoga all the time, but I never did like hardcore exercise, and I do want to incorporate that coming up. Like I do want that to be in my next like I don't know, I don't want to say like trimester, like I'm pregnant or something, but I definitely want to start doing that for the next stage that I'm in right now. But I didn't want to do that off the bat because I am someone that I do tend to eat a lot. So I was scared that while I'm in my losing weight process that I would bulk up instead of like looking thinner. And my biggest goal was to actually look thinner and not look muscular, if that makes sense. And I know a lot of people say, oh, that's not true, that doesn't work like that. But for me, it does. I know my body already. I don't want to hear what anybody else has to say about it. I know my body. I know I will bulk up. So definitely for me, personally, I did not do a lot of exercise. So I just did the bare minimum. Like I would walk as much as I possibly could. I would walk to the supermarket, walk to church. I'll walk to, you know, I'll take that longer walk to work. But I wouldn't do like heavy lifting or anything like that. So yeah. I also did try a couple of like cleanses. I don't really want to get into exactly what those cleanses were because I didn't see a huge change when I did them. Like I did a couple of like apple vinegar things, a couple of smoothies, and honestly, I don't think they did anything. I go back and I look at like my progress because I was noting down like what weeks I lost most weight, what did I eat during those weeks. Like, I was going ham. And the weeks that I was actually doing these cleanses, I didn't lose like any weight. So honestly, I don't think I agree with any of those things. For me, I think the biggest thing is to just lower your calorie intake, fast, and just control yourself, like, honestly. One thing I did do that I honestly feel that was something that I did that worked for me, but I honestly don't recommend it. Well, I do recommend it, but if you don't want to do it, then to each their own. Honestly, I liked getting a colonic. I'm actually going to schedule another one. I was trying to do like a vlog or something where you guys can like come with me, but with Corona and everything, everyone has all these strict restrictions, and it's just not really feasible right now. So hopefully down the line I would be able to take you guys with me and just, you know, try to film it or something. Maybe the person that I get it done with would be down to like get it on camera or something. But definitely getting a colonic was one of the things that gave me like that extra boost, not only because it's like cleansing everything, it's just a feeling of like a new start, of a new beginning. You feel so like ready to take on the world after it's done. So definitely for me, that one was big. So for me, if you're about to get started, I think that is really important. Or at least do like a week of like healthy eating, exercising, not drinking anything like harmful or anything like that for like the first week, and then get a colonic, because I feel like it'll be a little bit less uncomfortable if you do that. I feel like I should have took my own advice, but definitely if you want to do that, I highly recommend it. There's people who have lost up to 10 pounds just by a colonic. The next thing I do want to talk about is as far as like staying committed. I am probably the biggest person that has like the biggest commitment issues in like the entire world. I cannot stay committed to anything. I'm surprised I stayed committed to this hair color for as long as I did. Being committed to this decision is something that has been really hard for me, because I do have a certain lifestyle of like going out and like hanging out with friends and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes it's hard when you're the only one that's healthy eating and everybody else is just eating like shit. Especially my friends, like we are the most unhealthy people ever. We'll go to Olive Garden, we'll go to TGI Fridays, we'll go to these steak houses, like we go drinking for hours and hours and hours, and honestly it's just so hard. But I think the pandemic has actually made that easier, because we're not eating indoors and we're trying to stay our distance. I'm not really hanging out like I used to. Also, I'm really drowning in schoolwork and drowning in work. And with my company and all of that, like I feel like I have no time to really hang out. So it's been a little easier on that. But once summertime comes and everything has calmed down, I'm wondering how I'm gonna stick to that. I did find that there was a lot of restaurants that do now have a lot of healthy options. So if you're worried about that, I think you'll be fine. Also, you save a lot of money, because when I did the portion of not drinking any alcohol, I saved so much money on my bills. Like usually it'd be like $100 just for me based on my alcohol intake and my food intake. But when I went out to eat recently, I think it was like 30 bucks, because all you had was an appetizer and food, and then I drank water the whole time. So honestly, if you're someone like me and you lived like that lifestyle, you're gonna see how much money you save just by ordering water instead of like a drink. Literally you save 15-30 bucks just there, because if you have 2 drinks anywhere, that's 30 bucks. But oh, and the temptation is real. But yeah, I broke that a little bit. Like I'm not that strict anymore, because I already surpassed that level. But in order to get those first 25 pounds down from where I was, I eliminated any drink that wasn't water. So alcohol level, I didn't drink any alcohol, I didn't drink any soda. I'm still not drinking soda. I'm drinking a little bit more juice now, but nothing crazy. Like I'll have orange juice or like a diet juice or something like that. But at the beginning, I only had water. Like literally, if I was thirsty, I'll drink water only. So yeah, definitely stay committed. Another advice that I do want to give is to not weigh yourself every single day. I do this and I can't help it, because I like to know whether I did okay that day or if I did bad that day. But weight fluctuates a lot. It's not something that it's like if you're 208 for a week, then it'll start like fluctuating that way. But if you weigh yourself in the morning, you're one weight, and then you weigh yourself at night, you're another weight. So that's why women are always like, oh, you know, I want you to see my morning, like my morning weight. I don't want to test myself in the night. And honestly, just don't weigh yourself as often because you're gonna get discouraged. I felt like there was times where I'll weigh myself, I'm like 200 pounds. Oh, I didn't even talk about how much I used to weigh. Oh my god, I'm such a spaz. Honestly, I'll probably leave that for another video, honestly. But yeah, so there'll be times where I'm like 200 pounds and then I'm like 210. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, am I losing weight? Am I gaining weight? Like, what's going on? And then for like a whole week, I'll stay stagnant on one weight, and then out of nowhere, I'll drop like 5 pounds. So honestly, I don't think you should weigh yourself every day. I would do a weekly weigh-in, just because I gave myself a short period of time to reach my goal weight, that I weigh myself on a weekly basis so I know whether I had a good week or a bad week. Sometimes curiosity is, I just can't help my curiosity, and I did want to weigh myself in the middle of the day, but fuck it, you know. Just know, don't listen to those numbers, don't be discouraged. And the last thing I do want to say is stay confident. No, I think that was the biggest thing, was that I was like, oh, I'll never be able to achieve this, I'll never be able to obtain this goal. And as soon as you lose those first like 5 pounds, you lose like those first 10 pounds, you get so motivated, your adrenaline starts running in, because you're finally believing in yourself. You're finally believing that you can do this, you can make this change. And even if you've lived your life a certain way for so long, you can still make that change. And that's something that it took a long time for me to think, because honestly, I used to be like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to do it, I'm never gonna be able to do it, and then one day I just did it. So honestly, if I can do it, anybody can, literally anybody can do it, because I had such a bad eating habit for such a long time that now, like, going back to it, I'm just like, damn, like, I'm even like ashamed of my own self, and I never thought I'd be able to reach that level. So honestly, I think that's probably one of the things that I'm like the most proudest of, is being able to look back. Stay confident though, stay confident, you got this, you're gonna do it. Just say that to yourself every morning. Every morning, just remind yourself of it. Like, if you're gonna, like, I know temptation is real, and every time I was in temptation, I was like, oh my god, like, don't do it, you work so hard already. And honestly, because I'm doing it for myself, I don't want to let myself down, and that's more important than letting anybody else down, because fuck these people. But also, I do want to let you guys know, is not to beat yourself up. Like, if you do break your diet for like a day or two, is like, don't feel like, okay, that's it, like, I give up, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, no, you can just the next day just know to follow your stuff and be straight, you know. Like, this is a lifestyle change. This isn't like a month thing and then you go back to eating like shit. Like, it doesn't work like that. You're gonna lose your results. Everything that you work so hard for in all these months literally disappears like that. And that's what the hardest part of it is like, why is it like that? And honestly, there is a time where you'll be able to maintain your weight, and that's like when you start eating at least like 2,000 calories per day, depending on your weight and height. But you'll never go back to eating anything you want. Like, that's just not feasible, it's not realistic. So just keep that in mind, that once you decide to make this change, this is a change that is for life. Sorry guys, I have the loudest turtles in the world. I know in every video I film, I have to apologize for my turtles, but literally they hop on their thing and they slam down. So that's what you hear in the background. But back to this. I think that's all of the advice I have for you guys. I will be doing more videos like this, as far as like what I'm actually eating, what I actually ate, some things that I actually tried, what I recommend, what I don't recommend, all of that in later videos. I'm still not at my goal weight. That's why I don't want to get into too much details about how much I weigh and all of that stuff, because I want it to be like a big, like, it's a big project that I'm working on. And yeah, I hope you guys will stick around for that. If you guys like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I will be filming more videos like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.